impact somebody other than yourself
Yeah.
actually creates happiness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that create happiness because everybody's idea of happiness is different. But at the very basic core of happiness, I think it's just, I agree with the doctor you were just quoting his book that it is a choice because we constantly could complain about things in our life. Everyone. I mean, everyone could. But it's, we've talked about this many times on the show. I think that simply happiness is just about having gratitude about what you do have and not what you don't have.
Well, he's saying that happiness is not a choice.
Okay.
Okay, it's a side effect.
Well,
it's a lie that we believe that it's a choice, that your happiness, whatever, like you said, it depends on so many other factors that are actually not really in our control.
Well, and you're not going to be happy all the time because you're going to, when you know,
exactly.
When something bad happens, let's say a death, okay, you're going to be very sad, and you may be sad for the rest of your life, depending upon, what kind of death it is. No, I'm talking, I'm serious. I think of the death of a child. I don't know how you ever are happy after that.
Right.
Seriously. I have a couple of friends that are never going to be the same after they've lost a child.
And I think that's part of what you have to recognize rationally, every aspect of a human being.
Yeah.
It is very normal to have depression and sadness when you experience something like that.
Right.
Grief and loss and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of a misnomer to think, oh, well, just choose to be happy, right? Or that something's wrong with you because you have certain fears. That anxiety and fear is there, one, usually because to protect you from harm, but two, it's associated with doubting your ability.
Yeah, but I mean,
you gotta stress what's underneath that, the structure of it, not necessarily the feeling.
Impermanence is part of everyone's life. It's just something that exists, you know.
What do you mean?
And so it's how you handle it.
Right. I think that's part of existentialism is that, we're all, like, when you become more aware of your own finiteness, like, I am really frail and I'm probably going to expire one day. And not that but I am going to expire. Then hopefully it will cause you to live a more meaningful life in today.
That's the point.
Yeah. And so I like to always differentiate, and this is Vaughn's definition, between happiness and joy. Happiness, for me, is sometimes fleeting. Like, you won't have that all the time. And it's very normal. But joy is something that can be pervasive, I guess. It's something that you can have that's underlying happiness. And, I think there are a lot of components to joy. For instance, contentment. And, a lot of people are discontent with where they are in life.
Well, a lot of people just like to be negative and complain. Even like this morning, I had a ton of laundry to do, but I took pride in my laundry and I enjoyed it. I'm serious. And I bought this really nice fabric softener that smelled really good. And it's the little things in life that I'm serious. I mean, I could have sat there and bitched and complained all day long about having to do the laundry.
It's a waste of emotional energy to do that.
But I'm like,
why
I feel
complain
so
about it?
good to get everything hung up properly and everything all folded and nice and neat. And
something about warm, clean towels. Like, if I'm stepping out the shower, something about that.
Yeah.
Or even folding them and putting them in their proper place brings me joy or happiness, whatever you want to call it.
There we go.
Yeah. I think it's important, and Vaughn, you kind of brought this up, and I think to this psychologist point of view too, it's like we have to realize we're never going to reach our full potential, and we have to be okay not being enough. In other words, it's okay to pursue trying to better yourself, but I think you also have to be okay understanding that there's an aspect to your humanity where you're going to be inadequate, you're going to fall down, you're going to make mistakes, you're faulty, you're inadequate in some areas, and be okay with that.
It's just like a football game. Serious. It's why I love football so much, because to me it's so synonymous with life.
It is.
And you're going to throw an interception sometimes, or you're going to fumble the ball, and it's okay. You get back up, and you find good, you find happiness, you find peace in the things that you did right in that game, not what you did poorly.
Yeah,
I agree with you. And so here's my big existential question for life: how do I have healthy discontentment?
Yes.
How do I have healthy discontentment?
I like that.
Which means that. I'm not quite content and complacent. I'm still striving. However, I do feel happy. So,
That's where I am right now. That's where I am right now in my life. Okay, so let's go to this. Is it true that things are worse despite 100 years of psychotherapy and life coaching?
Well, yes. If you look at the statistics, and there's actually another book out there. It's called It's a wonderful book. We've had 100 years of psychotherapy and the world's getting worse. And it's a dialogue between a journalist and a psychotherapist. And I think,
Oh, who said this now? Because I want to know. Because
Well, they didn't quote who the actual psychotherapist was, but the book is called "We've Had 100 Years of Psychotherapy and the World's Getting Worse." And I think
it's not because of the psychotherapy, though.
I think, and Vaughn, you can certainly chime in here. I think there are a lot of really great psychotherapists, and then I think there are a lot of really crappy ones that keep people in their psychotherapy.
Yeah.
And they're not helping them to, in other words, is to work themselves out of a job, so to speak.
No, I absolutely agree. And I've had some experiences with, jeez, I could share, I certainly wouldn't share names, but oh my gosh, I won't go into it right now. But I tend to agree, but I also think that psychotherapy is something that is very important for certain people, that they really need it in order to get through certain things in life.
I agree. And I think it's an important life coaching, mentoring, psychotherapy, high performance coaching, which I do. It is important. But I do think a lot of times we have some really strong, intelligent, resourceful people that are so focused on themselves, they're not out there doing the work they need to do to make a difference, impact other people, because they're so freaking focused on themselves.
Well, I agree, but I think that the statement that you said about psychotherapy and life coaching, despite 100 years, we're no in better place, is correlation and causation. It's like bad science, if you will, because I think
we're certainly a more medicated
Well, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, come on now. Okay, let's call out the.
I think we know why.
Why? Because of social media, because of overprescribing of prescription drugs. You can't take a pill to change your life. Okay, all it does is deaden your brain, so you can't get to a better place.
It doesn't change the way you believe just because you're taking medication.
Yeah,
you do got to work. You do have to do the work to do some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what this guy's getting at, and I think what I guess I'm trying to say is do the work you need to do, but do it not so it's about making self better, but so that you can then go do something, or even in the same time frame as you're bettering yourself. It's about doing something that isn't about you. It's about doing something to impact the community around you.
Right. And I think with psychotherapy, I'm looking at both of you, I think that psychotherapy more than what's the word I want to say? Moreover, it doesn't serve necessarily the sole purpose of you figuring out you. It's you figuring out other people and the impact they've had on you and how you've reacted to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think greater self-awareness is one of the key components to psychotherapy, because when we talk about, there's a concept, if anyone goes out to look it up, it's called Johari's window. And so there are 4 parts to you. So you have the known part where people know this about you and you know it to be true about you. Then there's a part that is blind spot where people know this to be true about you, but you don't know. And then there's a hidden part where everyone has a mask. And then there's this unknown portion. A lot of times people aren't aware of how other people see them. And that is a component of becoming more aware and emotional intelligence and going into counseling.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I say, stay away from prescription drugs. They will, if you have mental illness or you have a mental instability,
symptoms, not the root
problem. That's right, and it's going to make you worse. It's going to jack with your brain. All these terrible things. What's the name of Kelly Brogan's book? A Mind of Your Own. A Mind of Your Own. Yeah. It's a great book. Every woman should read it. I say, stay off birth control pills too. They screw with your brain as well, especially, of course, women are the ones that take them. Duh. Yeah. But, anyway, okay, we're out of time, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Kip and Vaughn, thank you so much. You get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it.